This
If possible,
conference will now be recorded.
I'm sharing the screen. So you can see my screen. Okay. Uh, Fine. Let's start. Okay. So we were discussing about yesterday. We discussed about site content types, site columns, and how about this one, look and feel and all. We discussed already, and we also seen some service applications also, like how to create a service application, and we couldn't find the particular I mean app only here. Yesterday we stuck in that, but later I checked that. So once we create a service application, so we will able to see this uh, service application apples here. So basically, once we create a app, I mean, once we create a service application, then it will be generated as a GUID app pool like this. Okay. So, but how to identify this app pool is by running this PowerShell command. I'll show you the PowerShell command. So, just
so that service application app pool name is something like it's not readable, right?
yeah, app pool we are unable to find which app pool is assigned to which service. So,
Correct.
yeah. So here get hyphen sp service application pool, and this is the what are the selection we need to do is select ID and name. So once we
Oh,
enter this, we will get these pools like this: my search pool, search query pool. So these two pools I created here while creating such application. So these are the other
first two, right?
shared by, yeah, the first two. Yes.
So I think like if you go to the properties, I think we can see the name of it exactly, like what name we have assigned to it while creating.
No, the problem is actually if you go to properties here, the properties only, basic settings you can
View
see.
application. Okay.
So name it will be assigned like this. Basically, if we go to central admin and if you click on basic settings, we come to know this. Say point central admin v4. But actually, in old environments like 2007 or 2010, actually they were giving the apples like based on the name. But due to name conflict, they have given as a GUIDs. Like so, you can see the we can based on the Apple ID, we can come to know like this is my Apple, and we can do some actions here. So that was the sample description about the how to create a search service. So once we create a service, then we can consume that service. Okay. So that also I will show you. So first you need to go to application management, manage service applications, and my search service. This was the one, and you can select the properties here. So you can change the properties, whatever properties here, you can change. And this is the search service. Basically, we'll discuss search is a separate topic. Okay. So, but if we go to manage web applications, okay, just select the my portal and in the general settings. It is not showing. I think we need to run the PowerShell command for that. Just a second. So yeah, I think this is the add-sp service application proxy group member, and this is the proxy you need to add for that particular web application. And then
The web application or service application?
to web application. Yeah, one second. Associate. So basically, we need to associate that service to web application by selecting this, then to publish to other forms or service application, configure service application association. Here it is. Okay. So I was searching this. Actually, if you go to manage, manage, oh yeah, configure. The section is configure service application associations, and then we need to select the web application, which are web application. So here it is. You will display here. Like see, my search service is disabled. So if we go for custom thing, so what are the services required? We can select that. Suppose I need only search service as a default for this my web application. Just select it, and also you can select other web applications also and click on OK. Then that particular service will be updated here in the
So
application.
here, like
Yeah.
we are creating this search service application to just enable the search functionality on the web application, or what's the purpose?
Yeah. So that out of box it will be there. Okay. Suppose uh, if you see this enterprise search service application is already configured. Okay,
Yeah,
the search is already configured, but
yeah.
it is out of box. Like you can't do any customizations on the search. Suppose I want to restrict some results, like
Okay.
some of the site results or something like that, changes, UI changes and all, we can do it by using the custom search. So that's why we are using our custom search as an enable for the web application, and then we can use this search service in the this service applications. So
Oh,
this service has a lot of things like query service and all. This we'll discuss
this is the
later.
default one, right?
This is the created one, my search
Okay.
service. Yeah,
Okay.
my
You have
search
created
service.
yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday we created one. So this is the one. Okay, and you can see this. The type is search service application, and search service application proxy. It will be there. Proxy in the sense, like suppose if we have two forms, like one is in another form,
Okay.
then if we want to publish this, then we can use this proxy to connect to that form, and then we can configure that. How it is, just select this and publish, and connection type is, you can select HTTP or HTTPS, publish to other forms. This we need to enable that, and whatever form, trusted forms, it will be there. We have to add the trust relationship with the other forms. So then
So here proxy means, is it for like
we have
backup
to,
purpose?
yeah, backup, or like suppose I want to pull the results from the another form. Okay,
Okay.
suppose in different form different search results will be there. They are also created in central admin in another form. Different central admin, they have created a different search service application, and we have to pull the results, okay, from that form. So what we can do is we can establish a proxy to connect that form, and then we can maintain the search in a single location. Like we can able to search the results in a particular what do you can say, from the two forms. Okay, so that is the use. Like so every service
So
has
there is one
two
thing I doubt actually. Like, see, the search is nothing but like it should search from the content, and it should be from the database, right? Whatever the form it could be, if it connects to
uh
both the data, both the forms connect to the same database. So the search should be it should get the content, it should get the results from the like the content database, like on which like it is configured, whatever the form it
yes,
could be.
yeah,
So that's what
yeah.
I'm like, what to do with the
See,
form.
see, when we create a search service application or any service, so backend one DB will be created, right? Like
Yes, yes,
one search service application will be created, and that it contains all the data about the search. Okay, suppose if I have different form, like suppose I have another form and I want to connect to that form, and I want to pull the search results from there. Means how we can pull? We have to connect to that web application or search service application, and we have to pull the results, right? So how we can maintain is, just we have to publish
So
means like
what kind of difference will be there from the two forms? So farm is nothing but it's a set of servers. So like basically
no.
those servers are used to run these services, and the
Mm,
services it should pull the data from the content database on which like it's configured on which web application it is configured. So I'm
mm,
just thinking
mm.
like there should not be any difference in the search results whether it is a proxy or whether it is a search
See,
return.
suppose, yeah, that's a good question. Actually, suppose in your form that server is not part of form. Okay, okay. So you mean to maintain just a trust between that server and your server, your form, and you need to pull the results from that. So you no need to let's say suppose in your form there are four servers, and one is a secure server will be there, and it is separate, like it is not in your form. Okay, and you want to connect to that server, and you need to get some results from that server. Okay, so what is the use means, we have to use the proxy, like we have to connect to that server, and then we have to pull the result from there. So that is the reason we are using that search service application proxy. It is
Okay.
not necessary.
So
Yeah.
like if for example like if our search server is down for some reason, so we
Hmm.
will be using the proxy search service in that scenario.
See, the server is down or not, we don't bother. Okay, so whatever the search results available in the content database, that it will be shown to the users. Okay,
Okay.
suppose basically crawling and indexing will be there. Means you asked first time, you asked in first class, I think, what is the difference between crawler and indexing. So
Index.
crawling is nothing but whatever content, suppose we are adding some documents, or we are adding some list items, so it will be gathered for to ready to push to for the indexing. That is nothing but whatever we are gathering, the information is nothing but a crawl. Means once we run the crawl, like suppose whatever new documents or whatever new items added, that it will be maintained as a separate table, like what are the new documents and what is the old content and what is the new content, it will be maintained in a crawler. Okay, and indexing is nothing but once the user enters some text in the search box. Okay, suppose a test or something like that, if he enters, so it will fetch the results from the indexing table, and it will give the results to the users. So that was the difference between the crawler and index. So yeah, so they maintain the separate dbs like this: crawler db, query processing, analytic processing, admin. So different it will be there. So it is all coming from the fast search. Fast search was the product earlier, it was there as a separate product, but Microsoft purchased this product, and they have implemented this in the SharePoint. So they maintain like a different databases, like admin database, analytics database, crawler database, link database. So what is the use means, admin means whatever we are seeing this, right, the search administration, it maintains the details about these things. What are the configurations we have done, and what are the changes we have done, it will be maintained in the admin database. Analytics means just to know the reports, a kind of a thing, like how many requests and how many responses, how many usages from the users, and how is the health report and all. It will be maintained here. And crawl database, I said that what are the things, new things like added in the SharePoint, what are the new items or new new list items or anything, it will be maintained here. And link database, basically it will give as a links. When we type anything in SharePoint, it will come as a separate link, right? So once we index that thing, it will stored as a link database. So from link database only, whatever links we are getting in a search results is nothing from the link database. So this is the server topology, we can say search application topology. So generally they ask like what is the search topology, means we have to explain this. So basically it has search administration and crawler, it will be there, and content processing is the service, analytics and query processing services will be there. So query processing is nothing but how to process. Suppose if user gives some word in the text box, how it is processing, like how it is fetching the results from the database, means based on the some such schemas it is fetching the results. So where we can see such schema is here, it will be there, like this is the schema. So we can see here like results are there and all this things. So this is just overview I said, but we will explain all these options in the later video sessions. Okay. So any doubts, or we will move to other topics?
That's fine because like it's something like a pure theoretical concepts, right? So I'll look
Yes,
into
yes.
it because
Yeah, we need to know like what is the search service, just to know that, like just to have some idea
like
on this. Okay.
indexing, because in search we, like in Documentum we use the index server for search, but crawling is
Yes.
something new. In SharePoint itself I'm seeing, so just I added
Yes,
outside.
yes. Yeah. Earlier, actually, if you go to 2007 or 2010, these crawler won't be there. Okay. Like
Okay.
they introduced a new concept of this processing and all, content processing, query processing, analytic
2013.
processing. Yeah.
So they have introduced this crawler in SharePoint 2013.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So that was the service application. So we'll go back to our site settings. Okay. So today we'll discuss about web parts. Okay. So web parts is nothing but some piece of functionality which will be reusable in all the sites. Okay. Suppose these web parts are coming from out of box, like once we create a site collection, so it will be in the form of like this. So the extension will be .dwp. This was the old extension, and current extension is like .webpart also. So even backward compatibility they are maintaining like .dwp parts. So that is why they are using this. In 2007 and 2013 they are using these web parts. So same web parts they are maintaining here also in 2013. Okay. So if you go to, this is called web part gallery. So whatever web parts if you develop and deploy it in SharePoint, so it will come in the gallery. Gallery, it contains all the web parts here.
So
So if
basically,
you
like,
click,
right now what we are seeing are like default web parts which come with the site collection.
yes, correct, yes. So these are all default web parts. If you search for any custom web parts, means it will show as a custom in the section, settings section. So default search, default community, like custom, it will be there in the custom section. Okay. Once you develop and deploy, it will come as a custom category. Okay. So we can see this like different web parts. Suppose so what is the web part and what it will do? Just if you click on any web part, so it will show like this. See how the web part is appearing. This is coming from the site users. Okay. Site users. So how where it is implemented is, just if we go this is, we can see this groups here, where exactly means if you go to site settings, people and groups. So here we are displaying, right, groups and all, it is showing that this is nothing but it is coming from the web part. So that design is there. So same thing you can mention this. This is one kind of a web part here for the site users. So we no need to go through all the web parts because it will be lengthy of web parts here. So we no need to by heart all these web parts. Only the thing is, what are the web parts available custom once we develop a from the developer point of view. Once he develop the web part, he will come and see these web parts, like whether it is published correctly or not, and the functionality we can check it here, like just to know how that is look and feel, and whether if it is any errors means it won't show anything. Like if you see getting started also, it is a one web part here. So suppose if you go to any home page, so you can see this it is coming as a web part here, so it is added to the web part to the page. So how the web part framework works in SharePoint is, uh, initially we need to create a page for that, like either a static page or a web part page. So there are two pages in SharePoint. One is the web part page, and one is the wiki page. So where we can see that pages is, just go to site setting, site content.
May I know like what is the like the specialty of the wiki page here in SharePoint?
Wiki page is nothing but it's a normal page. Okay, it doesn't have any zones. Okay, I'll show you that. That only I'm showing.
No.
So if you go to pages library, this is the site pages library, and if you click on files, new document, there are two types will be create new wiki page, create web part page. So suppose if I create a new wiki page here, let's say uh, web part, web part wiki. Okay, I'll create this. So this is, it is not giving anything, like just a plain page.
Just a static page.
Yeah, just we can add the web parts here, like by clicking on insert web part, then it will show all the categories here, and whichever category we require. Suppose this employee list is apps, like apps is nothing but whatever our list or library, it will be displayed here, like documents, employee list, form templates, micro. So once we select that and click on add, it will be added to the page like this. If we click add, so it will be like added to the page as a list. Okay. So after creating this web part, so we can customize this web part, like just go to click on this edit web part, and we can see some of the properties here, like so it is showing the views, list views. Okay, selected current view is employee view, all items view. All items view is the default one it is showing. So suppose I want to show only the employee view means I can show that also. Then toolbar type, full toolbar or summary toolbar or no toolbar. Toolbar is nothing but here it will be displayed at the top, whatever it is showing, right? The toolbar type, full toolbar it is showing. If you no need that no toolbar means it will hide that toolbar. And appearance, how it looks like, suppose title is employee list web part, so I want to change it to something like my list web part, I can say. And also we can set height and width of the web part. Suppose I can give some like 200 pixels or 50 pixels, like that. So you can set the size and width. And Chrome state is nothing but, suppose if user logins and I don't want to show this web part means I can minimize this web part. So or normal it will be displayed like this, or I can minimize that web part also. And same thing, Chrome type is the title and border, title only, border only. These are the settings, some of the settings you can say this. So we can practice these settings, each and every practice, each and every property we can see that, and we can practice this. So in this mainly So we can see this, what is the functionality of the web part we have to know. Like it is displaying just a list view here. So once you give all the properties, click on apply, then it will be changes will be applied here, and you have to click on OK. Okay, so once you click on this, the property is closed and it will be shown like this. Okay, so because I have given the properties like this, suppose you have to change it again, means just click on edit web part again and then go to appearance, same thing. So just full toolbar I will give, layout, advanced. So these are the things we can do, like just to customize the functionality of the web part. Okay, just after adding the properties, just click on save and save or stop editing, we can do that. Okay. So but exactly where it is there, it will be in the pages library, and that web part wiki will be there, this page will be there. Okay, so it is not showing currently. If you edit this, it went off. I think I didn't save that page. So once you save it, it will come like this. Okay, so this is the static page. Like we can create a different web parts here. Like suppose I can create a list and library, and I can customize that web part. Customization, like edit the web part and do the properties here. Like I have some other web parts like blog web parts. So if I want to use blog tools, so it will give some description about it. Provides the blog owners administrator to queue quick links, common settings, pages, content. So if I add this, so I can maintain a blog like this. So suppose this save save this page. So create a post, it is saying that basically we haven't created anything right now. So once we create a this configuration and all, it will be coming as a blog tools like that and all. Same thing for every web part, different properties will be there, like title, height and weight, height and width, and whether it should be minimized or normal. So if I click on Chrome state should be minimized and click on apply, so it is minimized, it is not showing anything. So suppose if I want to show normal, click on apply. So like that we can test it, all the properties, like how and look and feel it will be uploaded. Suppose if I give height as a some 50 pixels, and if I click on apply, so it is showing as a 50 pixels height. Width also we can check it. Layout also, layout is nothing but I will tell you this just now. Jones is there, zone index. Okay, so this is normal web part. Okay, we are creating in a wiki page. So same thing, what is a web part page is nothing but what is the difference between wiki page and web part pages, I'll show you that. So if you go to site pages library, so this time I will create a web part page. Okay, so this is nothing but it is giving some layout kind of a thing, like suppose I need a header, footer and 3 columns. So this is the header, you can see the design also here as some small icon, it is showing that header it will be there, footer and 3 columns will be there, or else full page vertical, so it will show the web parts like this, full web page web part. Or else I can say header left column body, or header right column body, header footer 2 columns, header footer. So this is nothing but a layout mechanism. Like suppose in different SharePoint sites, they want to maintain a different layouts in a home page, like they want to display some ads, and they want to show the some content, only content in the middle, and left and right they have to show some ads, means they can do that also, or some announcements, and they want to show the footer on the web part, so we can do that. So that is the difference. So basically it will give the layout template, basically we call the zones here. Zone is nothing but header zone, footer zone, and left zone, right zone, like that we can say that. So suppose I will create a some sample one. Let's create web part page. Okay. And I am selecting as a header, footer, and 3 columns. Okay. So where the location will be, we have to give a where the page it will be saved is. You can select your own library, or you can say just a site pages library is fine. Okay. Just click on create. So now we can see the difference of the page. Like it is coming as a like a header, left column, middle column, and right column, and the footer is coming. So we can add the multiple web parts here. Like suppose if I add one web part here, like with blogs. Okay, I can add the blogs and click on OK. So it is appearing on the header section. So suppose left navigation, if I want to add something like search and the search box, I can add that. So it is showing the search box here. On top it is showing like different in one zone we can maintain n number of web parts here. Suppose I want to maintain forms or media content, image viewer, add. So I can see this. Okay. So in the top navigate in the top header, images and blogs are there. In the left column I have search box. In footer column I have add some footers also here, like that. So once you click on in each and every web part, you can make some changes here also. Suppose edit the web part, and you can see these links. Suppose I want to show some image, means I can select here, or I can provide a link of the URL of the page, whichever image is there in SharePoint, that image we can give. And we can set the height and width of the page, and layout also we can set it. So earlier actually it was not showing the layout section in the wiki page. Now it is showing as a zones, it is showing. So zone is nothing but I told you that this is a header zone, left zone, middle zone, right zone, footer zone, like that. And zone index in the sense like initially it starts with 0, where whatever the thing it is starting, this as a first web part in the zone. Okay. Suppose their indexing will be there, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the order of the web parts. Suppose I want to show this web part as a 1, means currently it is 0 is a 1, 0 to 1 apply. Then the web part is went to down, like 0 web part is block tools, and number 1 is image viewer web part. Suppose if I make it 0 again for this web part, so it becomes 2, I think. Let's see. 1 I will maintain. Click on apply. So it is showing as a first web part. Okay. So based on the orders, we can change the web parts here, and also we can drag and drop also web parts from one zone to another zone also. Just if we click on any web part and just to drag this web part here.
So basically, we need to go to site settings. Is it site settings or site content to go to add web parts?
Uh, Site settings, we can see web parts. Okay, what are
Okay.
the web parts are there, but
So how
in
to add the
pages
web parts? Yeah.
we need to add the pages first. First
Oh,
thing is we need to create either wiki page or web part page.
oh,
In yeah,
Under
in
the pages,
pages,
we can add web parts. And once the
web
web
part.
parts are added, we can see it under the site settings, right?
Yes, yes, yes. That's right.
Okay.
That's
Okay. Yeah, a little confused because of the order. Like, okay.
right. Okay, okay. So we can add the web parts like this. Once we do the changes, just click on this stop editing button. Then we can see our page like this. This is the image web part, and this is the block tools, and this is the search web part. So like that, all the business functionalities, like suppose if the user has some form is there, and you want to show that form in the page, means how means they can develop customer developer can develop that form, and they can publish, I mean deploy it, and we can add this web part to use that business users, like suppose data we can enter and it should show in some list or library, like that we can do that. So that was there. Even in home page also we can add web parts. This is a static page, we can say there is no zones here. Okay, so we can add any web parts here like this. Okay, so there are a lot of web parts there, but we need to go through that each and every web part what it is doing, we have to see that. So some of the important web parts from developer point of view is content editor web part. Okay, and script editor web part also important, because they can write the code in this. Suppose if I add content editor web part here, okay, and edit the web part. So here to link the file or text, it will be there. So this is nothing but your script file. Okay, so script in the sense like JavaScript or HTML file or anything, you can give that name here. So I will show you that one second, how the coding will be do here. Just go to any site contents. So this library is important, site assets. So whatever scripts or anything, images or anything, we can save it. This is normal library, but most of the developer point of view, they will store all these scripts or HTML files and all. They will store in the site assets library. Okay. So suppose I will uh, I will write one script here. Suppose like this is the JavaScript, like that, script slash script, and I want to put some alert here, like hello world. I will put like this, and I just save as hello.js. Okay, this is nothing but JavaScript file. I'm just saving in my local desktop. I'm just saving this, and I'm coming here and I'm uploading the same file here. Like just go to upload document, click on this hello JavaScript, click on OK. So the script is added here. So if you click on this is the script is there. Just take this URL and go to that page, and whatever link file will be there, the content editor. So just give this, click on apply. So it is showing as a hello world. Okay, so whenever page is loading means it will show as a hello world for this. So click on save. Save, you can save it. So if you refresh this page, so it is showing as a hello world. Like that we can do other things also, like HTML point of view we can do that also, same in the JavaScript file. Let's say edit this file, and here I can add this HTML slash HTML, and just heading I'm maintaining. The normal HTML. I'm saying this slash head and so just maintain one header here. Let's suppose h1 h2. Hello, this is sample header. Just close this. Okay. Then the script should be added here. That so like this, save, and again you need to go to the library. Same file should be uploaded here. Then now if I click this is the content is changed. Now if I refresh this, so hello world is showing, and also my header is appearing like this. Okay, so hello, this is a sample header. So like this so like this we can develop the web parts here. Okay, so based on the content editor web part we can do that.
So where did you
Same
upload that? Could you show me the location of the script file?
yeah, in site assets library. In site
Uh,
assets, you can see the top URL here. So whenever if you see the URL, one second,
so how to go to that site assets?
one second, one second. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, site assets. If you click on site contents, okay, so site assets will be there. By default, it will come the library. Okay. So here it will maintain all the files and this normal document library. You can upload a
So from here
JavaScript.
also we can add it, right? That here, hello script file. Click on new document and
But here it will come as either choose file or it is coming like this. But new file means the JavaScript won't come here. Only the Word and Excel it will come like
I
that.
think like everything, every format should come, I believe. Can you try, like, can you remove this hello file and can you try again from here as a new document?
See, it is coming like this.
Uh-huh.
So one second. We go to documents and we'll see. So it will not allow, I think. If you go to new files,
Can you just go to that site content and can you try once? Site assets.
sorry,
Can we go to that site assets and can we try to upload this script file? Let's see, like, if it what does it say?
where you want to upload?
Like site assets. Can you go to site assets? Not style library. Site assets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, like, can we like just go to new document?
Yeah.
And choose file.
Okay.
Can you select that hello, the first one?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
This is also same. Yeah, that is also same. So this is you are saying that whether you can upload directly, you are clicking this new document and then. So otherwise, I can do like same thing. Okay, I am doing here.
okay.
Can you see? Yeah, same thing only. So there
Yeah,
are two ways. Like
yeah. That's what I was.
usually, yeah, this is the two ways. Like just if you click on new document and just upload it, that also is possible. Okay, you are asking. So I thought that once you click on some JavaScript file will be generated. That was I was thinking like you are asking that.
No. I'm saying
No,
like instead of from the live from that ribbon section, so we can also add this like script file from the below new
hmm,
document. Right? That's what I was asking.
hmm. So this is one way I'm saying. One sample way is basically this uploading and all. It is not required from the developer. Every time they don't want to upload like this, what they will do is just they will go to Open with Explorer. Okay, this functionality won't work in Chrome, but I
Okay.
will show you in the
Yeah,
Internet Explorer. It will work, that functionality. You know this functionality?
once I saw, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So usually they will open that path. Okay. Just click this. Just so usually they click the library, and that option is Open with Explorer. And suppose if I edit the file with the Notepad plus plus like this. Okay. So it will come like this. Now I'll make some changes here. Just click on save. That's it. So once you click on save, it will be reflected in the page. Just refresh this. Hello world is there, and there are three dots is appearing. Like that, you can do anything like HTML or CSS. We can do here. Some styling we can apply. Some scripting we can apply. Some other third-party libraries like Ajax calls or jQuery files or anything like that, we can add it here, and we can do the coding here.
And we can
So
also
basically,
add Vue.js, React.js also, right?
yeah, React.js also we can add it here. So React.js library we can add it here. But the thing is that framework, how it works in SharePoint, you need to check it, because some functionality may not be compatible to run the components and all. So that usually React.js it work, but make sure that some if limitation is there something, then it won't work some components.
Okay. So like all the supported like components for the React.js, those should be installed on the server, I think, right? To run those.
Mm, no, React.js there are two flavors. Okay, one is JavaScript file, and one is the React framework. So React framework is different in SharePoint. Okay, that is called SPFX. I said the SharePoint framework technology. That was the latest one using. Uh, yeah, React. It comes with React, but actually Microsoft is maintaining as a separate framework
Frame.
for that. Yeah,
Okay.
separate framework to develop it. They don't mix the React framework. They mix it. The components like coding and all, it will be same, but they use some TypeScript to implement the object oriented way, or like classes and object. One second. Hello.
Yeah, I'm there.
Sorry. So like that, we can maintain this content data record. This is an important record from developer point of view. And we have other web parts also. Let's remove this web part. So if you want to remove me, just delete and click on OK. The web part will be removed here. Same thing like another web part is media content. Go to media content and script editor. Usually script editor, what it helps is directly we can write the code here. No need to maintain a separate JavaScript file and edit there. It's not required. Just if you go to script editor, edit web part and edit snippet. So here you can write anything like that script.
So whatever the HTML script we wrote, we can write directly here.
Same thing you can write it. It will work here also. Just copy paste this same thing.
Yeah, I think that would be better instead of like uploading it
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah, we can see the view also here. Like it is showing that the HTML one it is showing. Insert it will come like this, and click on save. It will be the same functionality. It will be there. So that is the one benefit for this script editor with Power. That is the one thing. And these and all normal, like we have to go through one by one and all. It is difficult to
So
check this all the websites.
script and may know like again may see that again like script editor that is under which category?
Media and content.
Okay.
Media and content. Here it will be content editor will be there. Same thing. Script editor will be there. Okay.
What is the difference
Uh,
content editor and script editor? Content editor is only
yeah.
like editing the content of the page.
No, no. Just now we showed, right. We applied the JavaScript file in the content part. So we added content editor web part. There we given the JavaScript file, right?
Oh.
You getting?
I'm little, because like I think I might have missed that content editor. Like I remember like it
See,
was a
content
media.
editor web part. That's why I need you to focus. Like once you edit the web part here, okay. So you will get the link to file. Okay. So we are giving the JavaScript file wherever you are uploading this hello file. Thus, that file we are giving. Not
Oh,
only JavaScript, we
correct.
can give HTML file also here. Okay.
Understood. Understood. Yeah.
Yeah. So or
It's
else you
basically
can
like it's
do.
little complicated. Like directly, script editor would be better, I think, instead of content editor.
Yeah, yeah. Some scenarios it better, but if you have multiple files, means earlier versions it was using content editor part, but script editor recently they introduced this part. So
Oh,
both are same, but some mechanism like it won't give the flexibility to file functionality like this. So every time for script editor you need to go and edit the page, then there you can write it. So instead of that, if you want to maintain like this, like file means you can maintain like this. It
okay.
depends on your comfortable, like wherever you are comfortable, you can write the code there. Yeah. So not only that, you can add the content also here, the content editor web part. So directly you can add the content here, not an issue. Like you can type like this also, and you can add the layouts also here. So to column or anything like that, you can maintain like this layouts and styling and all. You can do this. So this is one way. If you are going for coding means that JavaScript and HTML files also, but out of box also you can do here like bold, italic, and some styling, and also we can see the source also. What is the source of this page and all? You can see that also, like page source. Okay, so that is more about the content editor and script editor parts. Now we will go to the other topics. So
Krishna, so like for the site collection, we use central admin to create the site collection, right? New site collection.
yes, yes.
And under the site collection, if you want to create the new site, so directly we can go to the site collection and there from the settings we can create the new site, right?
Subsites you mean to say? Yeah,
Yeah, subsites.
subsites we can create.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
after site collection, next level is we call it as a subset, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, yes,
Yeah. So all the
yes.
subsets we can directly go to the site collection on the SharePoint page, on the SharePoint
Ah,
site collection page, and then from there we can directly create a subset, right?
ah,
We don't
correct,
have to
correct.
go to
Yes,
the central admin again.
yes, 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 yes.
So even like
So,
end user
so
can create their own site
yeah,
subsite. I
end
mean,
user if he has permission only, that
yes,
is
yes.
also applicable. Yeah, if he has permission, they will able to create the
Give like
subsets.
permission. If you give permission to the end user on the site collection level from central
Hmm.
admin, so that the specific user can also create his own subsets under that, right? Hello.